Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our podcast. And my friends aren't here. Hold on a second. Let's see if this is, uh, well, I'm kept trying to get in. Um, we may not have this podcast today. For some reason, we know that Tim can't make it because his internet went down. And I don't know where Randy and Mike are unless they just forgot. So we will just have a very short session here. If you got some quick questions that I can answer, uh, be sure and go to our. We're doing some major changes here on these website addresses, and I'll have to notify you later on. But the hold on, somebody's trying to come. It's Micah. That's Micah. Okay, good. Hey, you made it.
Yeah, sorry about the couple minute delay there. I was having trouble.
Did you see where Tim doesn't look like he's going to be here, but his internet went down?
Yeah, he was on the webinar and he just disappeared. So
yeah,
he crashed completely. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're live, and glad you made it. I was just getting ready to tell people that
Yeah, of course.
have it, but you showed up, and that's great. So anyhow, so go to our website, www.micromomenttrade.com, and sign up for the Cow Report. The Cow Report's free. It's been published now over 20 years. It's got emails from all our clients and how they're doing, and they ask questions and all kinds of information you can get from that Cow Report. It's free. And you can get it at www.micromomenttrading.com and do that. And also on that site, you're going to see all the programs we offer, everything we do, what the costs are, what things are free, so on and so forth, and schedules. Again, www.micromomenttrading.com. We also have on YouTube, we have sessions of our micro moment sessions. We have one or two a day. I say one or two, sometimes two. We call it a second session. And if Micah and Tim teach that seminar, and they will give you notice via text if they're coming back and you're already signed in. That doesn't call for 3 o'clock every afternoon. And you can just go and all this stuff pops up from the charts and they're back having another session. Usually they're real powerful. Today was a really good day. We had 19.89% return over 10 trades, QQQs and SPYs, and they both did really well. Micah here had a 6.91% return and a 3.15 and some others. And so for the week, I think we're up 38 or 39% for the week. We have been averaging. This is almost the end of the 60th week of that service, and since it's been a subscription service, and we've averaged 93.67% a week. So it'll be a little less this week, but we may have a super day tomorrow, or they may have a later session today. Who knows? And then bump that on up for the week so far. I think we're about 38% or something like that. So we could have 100% return or 97% return if we count tomorrow in there too. What else I need to talk? You can type in any questions you got about what we're doing. I don't know where Randy is. Of course, he's our covered call expert, but we'll try to answer any questions you might have. And just type it in, and we'll read them off, and we would really appreciate it. So, Micah, it was a good morning. Kind of tell the folks here, particularly the first people. Oh, by the way, now I mentioned a while ago on YouTube, all their sessions we record them, and then they show up several days later on YouTube. So they're not going to do you any good to use them and try to, get a trade because the trade's already been done. But what you do learn is exactly and precisely how they do those trades, how all this money's made that they're making. Now they're up, like I say, averaging 97% a week for like 60 weeks. And you learn because you see the charts, you see that seminar in real time. It's just recorded, and it's a few days late. But you can really get a good feel if you anticipate subscribing to the service, what they're doing, how they do it. You will see why the clients make so much money, and they report to us during the sessions because they type in what they're doing. And today the returns were just astronomical, and yesterday they're astronomical, and every day they're good. And so, Micah, why don't you kind of explain that service? We got more time than we don't have to interfere with by those other guys.
Yeah. No, the service has been going great. Anybody that's been trading in the last week knows how nuts the market's been. It's been some of the most incredible, movement I've seen in a while, even in the midst of this pandemic. Since the first drop, we haven't seen volatility like this, and it's not just straight downwards. We're getting range both ways, but we have so many factors going on right now, so many new traders, so much new money coming into the market, that we're seeing a lot of effects on the option chain, a lot of weird things happening that we have to, adjust for and compensate for on the fly. And that's honestly the nice thing about being a part of a service is, yes, you learn the technique. Yes, you learn, how to trade, how the market moves, everything about that. But overall, that you have a constant live example of how to adjust to these situations, right? Because you can learn a technique and just do it, sure. But if the market environment is always so much different and there's so much happening in a time like now that we've never seen, then, we have this nice environment there in the question box and between me and Tim that we can adjust for those things on the fly, and we make changes and decisions as we go based on these unprecedented moves. And it's been working out great. I mean, we've had help from the clients seeing what they're doing, and it's just this cumulative environment. And I don't know, everyone just really benefits from each other on there. So it's been a great time in the webinar.
I think one of the neatest things about that micro moment trading is, of course, we're just dealing in options. You're buying an option, you're getting out of it. Usually 15 to 20 seconds, sometimes long times a minute. Okay, 15 to 20 seconds, and then you're through. And you're through after about an hour in the morning. You don't just hang around and keep trying to do it all day, because you get worn out and you get sloppy and you get speculative when you just sit there all day like a day trader. So after that first hour, you're through. And you're getting incredible leverage, since you're not having to use margin, which is death when you're dealing with options. The margin that brokers offer, you're paying a fraction of the cost of the stock. You're paying like $2 for QQQ or something like that on average. Well, you're not going to get that if you had 50% margin. I mean, that's just almost like 95% leverage without the use of borrowed money, without the use of margin. And then you never end anything overnight. And there's a simple technique, simple. We have a very expensive proprietary charting system that we use that tells Micah and Tim when to get in these things and when to get out. And that's what they do. And then you're seeing it live when you subscribe to their service. And pretty soon you're doing it too. After a couple of weeks, you can do it virtually, so you're not risking anything. And then when you're ready to go, you're ready to go, just flip that switch over to real money. You can make $2,000 as an account in 2 years, 24 months, 211 trading days a year. You can get 6% a week, 6% a week. Now they got 19% just today, and they're average 97% over the last 60 weeks. If you just get 6% a week off their trades in 24 months, it's going to amount to about $850,000. Then you can take that 850. If you keep making 8% a week, it's 48,000 a week roughly. Just from 1 week, and then you get the rest of the month to go ahead and compound the rest of the money, and you set for life. $2,000. You never add anything to it except you just leave your money in there to compound. You can do it in any of the trading platforms, and you can start off again with virtual money. It's just an incredible technique. Did I say enough good stuff about it?
All true though.
Yeah, I don't see anything, because somebody's got to have a question. If we don't have some questions, we'll just not press on. So, okay. Well, Micah, we just won't hang in here and take up airtime if nobody's going to ask any questions, and our other people aren't here to argue with us or anything. So.
Yeah. Sounds good. We're keeping it Q&A, so if there's no Q.
See if this is Randy.
And I'm working on getting more viewership on this, Joe, with our new transitions. This is going to be a bit of a priority. So
yeah, this is Randy. Says, Joe, I'm at the dentist. getting a root canal. Oh, good Lord, why you had to call and tell me that? So I can't be on the podcast.
Oh, I think he sent that text earlier. Yeah, I think I got that one too.
Yeah, no, I just got it at 10:09. Yeah. So, okay. Anyhow, that's Randy. So Randy's not going to be here. Tim's not going to be here. So that's it. Yeah, there's, it seems like for some reason, because of this pandemic and the virus and all, that a lot of people are trading that they weren't trading before. And that makes sense. They can't, a lot of them don't want to leave their house, and they want to pursue something that's interesting and they can make money doing. And there's just no better thing I know of to do it. We've been doing this for over 20 years. And we have about a month ago, I conducted the 2-day conventional covered call and leap seminar, Saturday and Sunday. It'll be held again this Saturday and Sunday, July the 18th. I think it's 17th, 18th, or whatever, Saturday and Sunday, July 17th or 18th, around there. And sign up for it now. We had a huge crowd. Micah will be attending to add thoughts and how all that stuff works in with the micro moments, which it does real well, as will Randy, as will Tim. They'll all three be there. And we had a great time. And last from about 9 in the morning to 3, 4 in the afternoon, kind of depending on if a lot of people want to ask a lot of questions. And we turn on the microphones so you can talk, and so on and so forth. Here's a question from Larry. You know why Randy trades SPX for the micro moment trading technique rather than SPY or QQQ? I don't know specifically why he trades SPX. He's always traded SPX during traditional covered calls. And do you have any thoughts on that, Micah?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the answer. It's something he's very comfortable with. Mm-hmm. It's more that we don't trade SPX on micro moment. We could, but it's about 2,200 to $3,000 per contract. Mm-hmm. And we have some clients that have smaller accounts. So we need something that's, closer to $100, $200 per contract, so that we can allocate for that. But SPX is very stable. We have some people on micro moment. There were about 3 people, I think, that made trades today on SPX. So it's very, very much a part of micro moment. He likes the stability of it, and he has the account to be able to fund those trades. And oftentimes he can fill in between the bid and the ask, which is really nice. And you can do it up there at those prices. Whereas on, SPY and Q, we have to fill at the ask. Also, there is a different tax allocation for SPX. It's a different thing that you're trading when you're trading SPX. So there is a tax benefit that he likes to use as well.
Now, when Micah and Tim are making trades, they say, okay, and they're talking, you're saying why they're picking out QQQ in the case of Tim. That's my primary one. He uses, Micah primarily uses SPY. And they're telling you, and they say, and you see right now, they say, okay, well, I'm ready to prep this. That means, and you hear them say, I'm getting ready to prep QQQ, and they give the strike. And then they'll say, I'm entering right now. I just bought it for $2.50. And, not many seconds goes by, and they say, I'm getting out right now. And they got out for whatever. And Randy does the same thing, a little different. Randy's trades are a little slower, but they're, he's got various ones. But he'll say, okay, I'm prepping. He sends out an email. I'm prepping, whatever. And then he sends out an email when he enters it. And then when he gets out of it, and he has astronomical followership. He's been doing it 15, 16 years now. And we've got people that have been in there 15, 16 years. It's not that they were slow and didn't learn it. They just enjoy it because they make tremendous amounts of money. But
I just got a question from John on the webinar.
Okay.
I don't know if he's listening on here. He might just not have a YouTube account. John, can you message me on the webinar again and say if you're listening to this, or if I should answer that when we get back on the webinar? Because I'm not sure where you're at. He could have just typed in the question and saved it for later, but let me know.
What I'm reading right now from John, is there a reason the guys weren't coming back for the second session lately?
It's a different John.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, end of days, we did yesterday, and kind of wish I wouldn't have. The options end of day have been very terrible. They're not moving according to Delta, and the pullbacks are absolutely gross. We're seeing just vertical and downward spikes just back and forth. It's flying around. We've really been focusing on the last few days that there are good trades and bad trades, and that's not to say that all good trades are positive and all bad trades are losses. You have to give yourself you have to be self-aware enough to know that there's some trades you shouldn't be in, even if you can make money, right? It can still be stupid. And that's what we're seeing end of day. It's just very dangerous. And we don't want to, if people want to go on and trade that evening session on their own, that's okay. And as we know, we do a lot of second sessions, but right now it's just very dangerous, very risky, and it's hard to teach on because everything's just spiking. There's no real direction to it. It's just a bad example of the technique.
That's why John's thing says second session lately, because they still do it. I mean, they do something every week, but it used to be they did practically every day. What Tim's saying, Mike's saying is that some days just not, but if they do come back, you're going to be forewarned with that text. So,
and that's usually how it happens. We usually do second sessions in bursts. If that makes sense, we'll do it for a week, and then the market will kind of dry, change it. That's what I was saying earlier about how you get a constant live update on what the market's doing, and that's valuable. That's exactly part of it. Question from Roberto. If we are subscribed to the toolbox, is there a way to contact you all about the MMT technique? Email. Yeah, you can send questions to support@micromomenttrading.com. I guess it depends on the type of question you have for it, but any of the toolbox or subscription questions are going to be to support.
Okay, this is from MM. How does one know if there is to be a second session? What you're going to do if you're brand new, or if you've been with us but you hadn't done it, you send an email to support@micromomenttrading.com. All we need on that email is your name and your cell phone number. And then in the morning when the first session ends, the platform stays on. It's just the charts disappear. And obviously they quit talking, but it's still on. Just leave it on. That way, if you get a text from our office, it'll be on your cell phone, and it says, Mike and Tim are going to be back in 15 minutes. And you're already all signed in and everything. That's how you know to come back. Bob, today was the first day on board. Hey, congratulations, Bob. Glad you're with us.
Welcome, Bob.
Familiar with advanced charts, but still felt a bit lost. Micah and Tim were constantly prepping trades. What's the best way to get on learning fast track? Okay. One way is we have those YouTube videos. You just put in micro moment trading and pop up on those videos will pop up on YouTube. They're the ones that go all the way back to the first one we did. So there was a lot of explaining, and you can listen to those to your heart's content. Or if you join the sessions, which I believe you are, then ask them to explain anything, and they readily explain anything that you ask. Even if you've never traded a stock or an option, they'll go through the most basic stuff and walk you right through it. And it's best sessions. So it's during those sessions because other people are there. Not everybody knows everything. So when they're talking to you, because you might know not a lot about it, but they're going to teach you a lot about it, and it's going to teach other people too. So just if you're in that service, just ask them, and you can raise. They can. We on Fridays we have a good time because everybody can talk and raise their hands, and so it's really easy to do.
And he's not just saying that; it's proven. We can see the names of everybody that posts, and most people always send us their returns, and there's a definite correlation. I can't give you any numbers or time frame on how long it takes to learn, but there's a definite correlation. The people that we see the names often are the people with the best trades, and we see their names through questions and comments. Like the people that are most engaged are they just perform better. It's the fact of what comes through that question box every day. And it's really just asking those questions, drilling down. Absolutely.
I don't think we discussed it with Roberto here. It says, if we subscribe to the toolbox, is there a way to contact you about all? Did you say answer that one?
I got that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was, Suzanne keeps texting me. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Tim or somebody, so I'm kind of diverted. Man, we did that one. Bob, today was the first. We just
John, the second
listening, and John, the other John, is now I'm on YouTube. Okay, good, very good.
Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay, so he's the guy that asked the question on the webinar. He said, Micah, please explain when you decide to make a trade while still in between the Bollinger Bands. That's a good question, John. So it depends on, there's two situations. We can be between the Bollinger Bands because we haven't yet expanded. And then we can be between the Bollinger Bands because they're still very wide after expanding. So one is just getting in earlier on the trade that we always do. And this one is more out of our control. If the market is slow enough to allow for that, we're going to get in early enough to still be within the Bollinger Bands. And then we're going to break outside of that, have a little bit more leeway to be able to make those decisions. And that's a great way to do it. On the backside, when we have a huge push, we see the Bollingers start to tighten. And if we have the right scenarios, say you're in a call, right? So you push up into the call, kind of what's happening now on SPY if you have your ice chart open. You see we took a two-leg push up. We're coming down now, right now, actually. You see the Bollinger Bands tightening, the bottom is coming up. This would be easier to explain on the live webinar. We can go over it again tomorrow. Just remind me. But you see those Bollinger Bands are still tightening. We popped down through M1 there for a second, but the biggest thing is M1 comes up and flattens out, which is obviously what it does before it starts to head down. So just the fact that it's flat is a great sign. Once we start coming down through M1 like we are, I'm still waiting on this, right? Is this just going to be consolidation up here, or is it actually going to reverse and break through the other way? And we see that via mostly the M lines. We need our E lines to be in the right position, but then as that M1 continues to flatten, it'll start to come towards M2. And when you see that cross, that's oftentimes, if I'm doing a reversal, that M1, M2 cross, if the tick is below both of them, usually you see a lot of continuation there. So that's where I usually look for that. That's a very, rough description, but without the ice charts, that's what you want to look for.
Okay. So, let's get some more questions here. We're ready.
Yeah, the reason we don't often is because it's really easy to get faked out. If you're on, either side of the Bollinger Bands, the likelihood of continuing that direction is very clean. Tim's a lot better at trading through the middle, but through the middle, there's pre-existing positions everywhere, right? So for exchanges to happen, somebody has to own it and they have to sell it to somebody else. And as those prices fluctuate, so does the market. So when you're in between the Bollinger Bands, you're in between the range that everybody's holding their positions in. So the amount of, small fluctuations that can happen between that is greater because you have, so much more activity, pre-existing activity in that zone. Whereas if you're breaking something, it's new territory, right? So if you're breaking out in a certain direction, all they can do is buy it or sell it because it's only that side is winning. So it gets you out of that kind of that zone, that bouncing, that territory that we don't like. We can pull off trades, but it's just not worth it when you have so many better setups.
A while ago, I mentioned there's really only one thing you do when you're doing the macro moment versus Randy stuff, which has lots of different rules because you own the stock, you want to stay in it, blah, 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 all kinds of different things you can do. If they enter a trade, Micah and Tim, if they enter a trade and it turns red for any reason, for a fraction of a penny, they get out of it. And the key, and what you learn how to do is get out of these things where you don't lose anything because you're going to be right back, maybe in the same trade 30 seconds later. The key is just to get out. For instance, in the 10 trades that were done today for a total of 19.89%, there was one QQQ, that was Tim, minus 1.28%, that's pre-cotton picking small. There was a SPY minus 0.0089 of 1%. That's the key. That's the one thing you learn how to do. And you don't hesitate. When you turn red, you don't stop and say, whoa, I know it's going to turn green. I know I'm going to, it's going to be. No, you don't. You don't know that. You just get out and you learn to do that. And that's what you learn because you see them do it. And other people that are making lots of money doing this do that. They just get out like that. And if you're losing, 5, 10, 15, 20%, you're never going to make it, and you're not doing it right because you're not. Anybody can get out of anything. But out of all those trades, 1.28% on a Q and 0.0089% on the SPY. SPY was Micah, and the Q was Tim. But that's what you learn, and it's it's amazing how some people will sit there and say it's oh, day trading speculation stuff. It's going to turn. Oh, it's going to turn. And then it's not much. It's going to turn. What's not? You turn around and get out of it. It doesn't make any difference if it turns because you would probably be right back in it again. I say that's pretty important, Micah.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, avoiding those losses, capital preservation is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just staying alive is what you need to do in trading. I heard somebody, a trader say that once, and everybody, the reason that 90% of traders lose money is because they lose money. I mean, it sounds obvious, but if you think about it, if you're so religious about cutting your losses and you don't lose that money, right? Because it's not about taking a negative trade. It's about blowing up your account. That's how people lose in the market, right? When you hear about that 90%, it's people that blow up their account and they bring themselves into this place that they can't build back from. That's the difference. And you're never going to do that losing 2% at a time. It's not going to happen.
There's a question here. It says, Ken, how is Micah's actual account value doing? I don't seem to get it in my emails. And you're not, because there's all kinds of personal things in that account. So what we've done, we have he actually trades a corporate account, which is our money, and he trades his account. And the corporate account, you get the returns. I put them in the little week daily micro moment trading email that goes out, and they're right there. You can see them. In fact, we've got a little contest. We got a little event going here. Started about a month ago. We're going to remember. I keep talking about the $2,000 in the account, 6% per week. We're going to grow it to over 800,000 in 24 months, and so we're actually showing how this thing's going to compound. Now we're getting a lot more than that per week than 6%, but we'll see. It just started and it's in there, so you can look at it anytime. But we don't show. They do other things in those accounts. So that was Ken. How much? Okay, and then Linda.
There's also a factor that that's why we have the account the way it is with only micro moment trades. I mean, even the executives in micro moment do, some of their own trading. On the live webinar, for instance, we'd say all the time that we need to teach you how to do this. It's too fast to follow exactly, because naturally, in the environment that is teaching people how to trade, most everything's an alert service. I'm going to tell you when to get in, when to get out. And if the whole trade is 15 seconds long, you just can't do that. In a span of 3 seconds, I mean, on moves like today, in a span of 3 seconds, you could see just astronomical changes so quickly that you can't sync that up. And new clients come in and they always try to follow trades exactly, and they always lose on it. Not just our trades. I would bet anybody that just wants you to follow their trades exactly and not teach you how. Like, we even have some alert services with platinum selections, right? Because it's slower. But the main goal is still to teach you the process. So we have to be very careful about anything outside of techniques that we show. So this new account is strictly micro moment trading, so that people don't start to say, oh, well, you made money on that, how did you do that? And they start to get all confused, and it ruins their learning process completely as well.
Okay, Linda, and Linda's relatively brand new almost, and she's just actually doing quite well. She had those good trades today, and her question is it ideal to trade at the beginning of the minute if possible? Not sure what she means there, the beginning of the minute. Uh,
Yeah, I'm actually impressed. She's already noticed something that mostly only advanced traders notice, which is the minute switch. The minute switch, when you're zoomed in as far as we are, you can see what happens on the minute switch. It's a hard thing to explain. But as the numbers adjust, there's a snap from minute to minute, and if you're in a trade during that snap, um, you can experience a big pullback or a big jump. It adds a lot of risk to it. So Linda, I usually do wait. Um, if I see a minute's at like 55 seconds, I'll usually wait 5 or 10 seconds to let that happen, adjust, see where I'm at, and I try to get in early mid-minute. It's not always possible because it's just another thing to watch. But yeah, it is possible. If you happen to notice you're at 55 seconds, I would probably wait 5 seconds, let that minute set. We wait for the corner on the Bollinger Bands, right? Linda, we wait for that set has to happen and then they can expand. So that's mainly the minute we wait for anyways, and we usually do that by default because we need that sharp corner on our Bollinger Bands. Once that expands, then we can get into our trade. So that's a very good observation.
yeah, that's a great question. See, there's some new ones here. Like I say, another thing, when you listen to those, if you're doing this live, if you're attending those sessions, and you're hearing these people when we have open phone Fridays. But in the meantime, every day they're telling us what they're making every moment of that session. I just 15 cents, I just made 20 cents, whatever, and we repeat that. But on the sessions, all that stuff's recorded. So that's why those YouTube sessions are so good, because you can see really what people are doing, and it's just really exciting. So,
it's really cool because they report their losses too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we get all of the losses. I'm pretty sure we get all the gains reported, but we don't get all the losses. It's just, it's embarrassing to take a loss. Everybody knows that, so they don't want to put it in the public eye and have their name read next to it. But there's a lot of people that are getting used to that, and they'll post. I mean, we had like 11 and 17-cent losses today because of the swings. They explained it to us. We helped them, figure out what was going on. And then the 17-cent loss, he said he took the 17-cent loss right out of the gate, slowed his mind down, and took little bits to get back to positive, and he closed the day positive. So we're able to work through those issues as well.
And don't confuse the fact when Tim or Micah say, "Well, we just made 10 cents, we just made 15 cents, we just made 3 cents."
Oh yeah, I guess
those are huge returns. Those are huge returns because you're not paying for QQQ. I don't know what QQQ really runs that, but you're not paying 75 or $100 or anything. You're paying $2 or maybe $1.50, depending on which strike you take and how many days out you are, that kind of stuff. So when you get these returns that like 6%, 1.8%, 5.13%, those are like just what they are. Those are really fantastic returns. So if you got $2,000 in there, again, those are huge returns. If you got $1 million in there, they're even better. Even better.
Yeah.
Any more questions here? Okay, we've got a few minutes left here. It's 10 minutes 33. Usually they say about 45 minutes before our engineer Marcus starts screaming at me. So about 10 minutes. If anybody wants more, if not, we can always end it. So check and see if I missed anything. Can sneak in here at the bottom. Did you that Micah mentioned ice charts? Are they a part of the MMT subscription?
Yeah, ice charts are intraday streaming equity charts. They're the proprietary charts. They're these ones. Yeah. Sorry, everything's inverted and backwards. So yeah, those are the charts, and they are through. Yes, they are a subscription. We outsource them, so we don't actually get paid for them. So it is a separate subscription. They had all the infrastructure, the servers. There's a lot of cost that goes through, keeping something like that up and running, and they were already set up for it. So we actually transferred to them. But we also display that live on the webinar, so you don't need your own charts, but you can if you want to trade other symbols or other times of day. So yeah, that's available on our website as well.
And when you're dealing with Randy's service, the toolbox has all the tools in that he uses to manage positions. It also has a position selector where it goes out every few minutes in the entire market, 4,000 or 5,000 stocks, and makes a deal, makes a which stock to buy, which leap to buy, which to sell, the best one, the highest yielding in the universe at that moment in time. And so you can just get fantastic deals off of the toolbox, and you get into it, and you may be into it for a week. At least a long time ago, third Friday was only expiration day, so everything expired on the third Friday. Now you could get in and out by buying and selling out, but third Friday was expiration. Now everything the guys in Chicago have done, CLBE is advantageous type technique. And over all these years, they've never done anything that was not advantageous. And this new, these variable, more active expiration times are just fantastic, because it started off that there was going to be one, maybe, every Wednesday or something like that. And it varies between all the different stocks. And not every single stock has an expiration date other than the old third Friday. But now they have weeklies. So instead of getting 5%, but a long time ago, Randy and I, we tried to achieve 5% over the course of a month. Well, now you can get 5% a week, and so it's just fantastic stuff. That's why his activity is getting more attuned to the macro moment stuff. He can do quicker trades because he doesn't have to wait a whole month or just manage them to make extra income. Then Logan says, "Hi, Joe. Good wishes for Randy. He had what you don't want to have at the dentist. Anyhow." Root canal. Says, initially, can we just copy Randy's platinum trades? Yes, you can.
What? Much slower, so you can keep up with us. No.
I'm sorry, what?
I think he's talking about my earlier comment about
you've already done that one.
Alerts. Well, no, I just said that micro moments too fast, but Randy's stuff is much slower. He'll be in a trade for a couple weeks sometimes.
Okay, so Randy's platinum, you can on Randy's platinum. It says, and what is the fee for the platinum service? How do we contact Randy for more info? All those fees are on the website, www.micromomenttrading.com. All those fees he's got so many services. I don't know how many he's got, but all the fees are in there for that. And how do we contact Randy? There will be a link on there where you can just go to the website and look under his section, and you can get all those questions answered. And John says, the other day, did I understand Randy says he needs about 2 cents to break even on a trade? I'm not familiar with that. I don't.
It depends on the technique. He's got like more of them.
Yeah. I vaguely heard him say that, but I don't remember which technique it was. So
that's about what we need on micro moment.
Yeah. So he's here every Thursday, 10 o'clock Central, when he's not getting a root canal. And so otherwise he could answer that question for you. Or you can write in just Randy at micromomenttrading.com and contact him. Okay, any other questions here? Marcus, make sure you get
questions today, guys. Everyone really came through on it. I appreciate it. Yeah. Lots to talk about.
Marcus, are we all clear? Okay with you? We got about 5 minutes left.
We're cut off.
We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, Mike, for being here, and best wishes to Randy and the root canal, and Tim getting his internet going again. And appreciate all of you folks. Check out that site again, www.micromomenttrading.com. And if you're already taking that service, you've not done so, send in that email to service, support, micromomenttrading.com, your name and your phone number, your cell phone number, and you will be notified when they have these second sessions. And we really appreciate y'all being here today. And we'll call this a day and see you next Thursday. And check out those recorded sessions on YouTube. So, okay, thank you, Micah.
Yep,
Thank you, Mr. Engineer Marcus, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Also, anybody looking, we have a bunch of shorter videos on Facebook too, like a whole list of them. I forget who asked that question earlier, but you can go on Facebook and there, I just cut out some of the best sections of webinars. And so there's a lot of really good points in there, a lot of good teaching points, examples of trades. That might be a good resource to check out. It's on our Facebook at Micro Moment Trading.
And listen, that's brand new. I mean, so I've been around about a month or so. No trade station.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh. I mean, we have some older ones, but we're just now building it. They're called snapshots, though, is the name of the videos. So,
okay. So how do you get to them?
Just log right into Facebook and type in Micro Moment Trading.
Oh, okay.
You'll see us there on Facebook. So,
got a note from Jay. Jay is a gentleman, I think originally from Dallas Fort Worth area, and hadn't been with us all that long. Although he's turned into just one heck of a producer. I mean, big time money. And this is his first week in Puerto Rico, where we have a home also. And he's just been down there kind of getting organized for the first week and just had a heck of a good day today. And
he said he paid his rent today.
Paid his rent today. That's right.
It was his first day in town, and he paid his rent for the month. So,
and Jay, thanks for attending this also. And we'll certainly see you tomorrow. Okay, guys. We'll see everybody. Bye-bye.
Awesome.